Well, hello there. Well, hello there. Welcome to the principal's office with me, Akeisha Harris, your principal consultant of Oat Educational Solutions Company. You like how I did that? My play on principal. But anyway, join us as we dive into the real conversations about the state of education and the transformative journey of learning. From uncovering all the challenges in today's classrooms to celebrating breakthroughs that shape our young people's minds. This show is the inside look, like turn your glasses on, at the world of education. Whether you're a teacher, a parent, an educator, a mentor, a guardian, lifelong learner, doesn't matter. We're here to speak, dialogue, and share insights and inspire change. Excuse me. Had to get my cup. So, of course, like, subscribe, and please comment because we want to have some thought-provoking conversations because I love that. I love that for us. Okay. Now let's jump into it because today we're going to talk about how dreadful parent-teacher conferences can be. They can be quite dreadful. Now I'm going to tell you why from both sides. Both sides as an educator, when I was in the classroom and children didn't perform to the traditional level of expectations, right? So getting A's, straight A's, or A's and B's. Parents would be upset with C's and D's, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. But here's my thing. There's so much more to a child than what can be captured on that report card. What's on that little grid is just a small fraction of who that child is, right? Now, parents want to see certain things. I get it because a lot of the parents that we encountered were millennials like me or Gen Zs, right? Or we did have some grandparents and guardians who were baby boomers. And we all kind of have that same track of thinking about school and your academic performance. We all get that. But I want us to consider the variables that are in play. A lot of the teachers who are in these classrooms didn't go to school for teaching. They're not certified and licensed in this field of teaching, right? They may be good teachers like me. And it didn't take long for me to understand that my best use would be outside of the classroom to advocate for children. Like I have to be in a position of policy and creating and customizing and developing things, laws, and structures that will help the children to thrive. It didn't take me long to figure that out. Growing up, I've always been a teacher. I've always been an educator. Even as a kid, my little brother was my first student, and I definitely gave him F's because he didn't write on the lines like he was supposed to. So I always knew that I had this gift of teaching, right? So that may absolutely be an anomaly. There are a lot of people in these spaces, in these classrooms, who are great people, who are absolutely fantastic as human beings, but they may not be the right fit for your child. And that's a real thing. There are a lot of teachers who are in this space who are just great. They are born for it, right? They love kids. They love what they're teaching. They're very flexible. They anticipate the highs and lows that just come with the job and come with the territory. They're very tolerant and patient. Sometimes they're intolerant of foolishness, but they still love the child and they have high expectations. Those are the teachers that you want. Those are the teachers who should, in an oasis or in a perfect world, should be occupying those spaces with your children, right? So we would be able to focus less on what's on that report card and more on how they're developing as an individual. And when you have a teacher who has a holistic approach and deals with the child beyond the classroom, deals with the child beyond who they are during that 50-minute period or during that 180 days that they have him or her. They're more invested in the past and the future of the child. They want to know more about them as people so that we can help align them with who they're supposed to be so that we can work with parents to get them to write out a plan for them that's actually going to work instead of something that's antiquated or something that's very generic and basic, like go to school, go to college, get a good education, and you'll get a job. It's like these kids don't believe that anymore. because they can turn on YouTube. They can go on Instagram. They can find different ways to make money and hustle up and learn how to trade and learn cryptocurrency. These children are absolute geniuses, and we have to catch up to them in a lot of areas because we're trying to hold them back and make them stay grounded in what worked for us, but it just doesn't work for them. And we have to be okay with it. Like, it's absolutely okay because time changes. Generations change. Technology, the only thing that is constant is change. Absolutely. So when I say a lot of us dread parent-teacher conferences, I would make it a point to point out the highlights in that child's, like in his academic journey, and point out the areas that absolutely need improvement. And I would keep it funky. I kept it funky with the parents. Like, look, I understand that this what we're learning now is not going to be relevant to them. I understand how his personality is and what he's likely attracted to and what he's going to be doing in the future. None of this is going to be relevant to them. But here's the place where we both can have a mutually beneficial experience, right? Because I make it relatable. And this is how we made it relatable. I pointed out the transferable skills that your child is going to need, whether they're in my math class, whether they're in a college math class, whether they're on a job or audition or whatever, entrepreneurship, whatever their journey is, they need these transferable skills. And I think that's very important for us to extract those things. First of all, help the kids to know, like, yeah, we're teaching you this stuff, and a lot of it you're not going to use ever again in life. And I'm on my third, fourth degree. I can guarantee you're not going to use it. Being transparent with them goes a long way. So helping the child and the parents to understand, like, here's the extracted skills that are going to be necessary. Right? You can apply them here. And this is what I want you to focus on: problem solving skills, procedures, and following instructions. That's something that you're always going to need. Absolutely always going to need. So if you have to follow instructions when you go home, and you have to follow routines when you're at home or on your job or at your summer camp or whatever, it's the same routine, same patterns that you have to follow when you're in math class, follow when you're in school. Even though you're not going to use the same content, the theme is the same. The theme is the same, right? What we're talking about is the topic doesn't change. You have to know routines, procedures, following instructions, step-by-step orders, how to problem solve and critically think. So when I made it plain like that, the parents were more forgiving of their child and more receptive to the fact that they don't really have to go in on them. They don't have to be hard in this area. But here's how we can raise the expectation and raise the standard. And a lot of them increased. Like, as the year went on and as the quarters went by, they were increasing because they were less emotionally attached to what they could do and couldn't do, and more invested in the things that they needed, the skills that they needed to work on, that they're going to have to practice and continue practicing for the rest of their lives. And I think that's what, and let me flip it. On the flip side, as a parent, knowing what I know, it helps me ready myself and ready my children even before the school year starts. So that's when when you hear me talk about the 3GF Scholar Snapshot. It focuses on their genius factors, and it gives a rundown of who they are as a person, who they will be, and how they learn, what their multiple intelligences are and their personality types, and how all of those things combined you're presented with the person before you. This is how you build a rapport with my child. These are the things that they're motivated by. These are their drivers. These are things that are kind of off-putting to them. Like, I'm giving you a cheat sheet on how to teach my child. And as an educator, I developed that for my students. So it made it much easier. And then I was able to share it with my colleagues. So we all kind of had like this seamless integration of geniuses and how they flowed and how we were able to get the best out of them. Now, granted, they were still teenagers, so teenagers are going to teenage. Kids are going to kid. They're going to do what they're supposed to do. But it makes our lives easier understanding them and letting them know that we understand them, right? Because kids swear you don't understand. And I get it. But parent teacher conferences, we have 3 more left in this year, in this school year. They don't have to be dreadful. They do not have to be. You just have to be prepared. You just absolutely have to be prepared. And you're prepared by understanding who your child is. Nobody should know you better than your child, right? Nobody should know you better than your child. We shouldn't go to parent teacher conferences surprised, right? We may be surprised that they did it there, but we shouldn't be surprised. We shouldn't have too many surprises because we should know our children, know how they learn, know what their genius factors are. And if you don't know what your child's genius factors are, please, please, please reach out to us. Okay. Reach out to us, do the free assessments that we have below. And we're also going to have a Black Friday sale where you can get your scholar snapshot. It's the whole shebang, whole rundown where we do the assessment, talk to you, and then craft your scholar snapshot. So I'm going to have all of that information below. And I just hope that we can just help our kids, especially young Black boys, because I have 5 of them, help them have a better educational experience, because learning has to be relevant to them in order for them to pay attention. We can't force feed these kids knowledge because it's at their fingertips. They're not struggling to know stuff. They just freely learn what they want to learn. So we have to create, just this inclusion and immerse ourselves in their world and help them understand ours. And then I'm pretty sure the world will be a better place. But yeah, thank you so much for joining in my TED Talk. And not my TED Talk. Oh, look at me. I might be prophesying to myself. But my 10-minute talk, y'all, yeah, it was 10 minutes. Was it after 10 minutes? I'm mixing shows. It was 10 minutes. But yes, welcome. And thank you for joining into the principal's office. That's what I meant to say. Principal's office. 10-minute talk is actually what we do on Tuesdays. Principal's office is on Thursdays. Okay. Thank you so much. But I love you all, and continue to write me, talk to me, join me in the conversation. I want to hear from you. All right. See y'all later on social media somewhere. Bye.